Hey folks, Matthew Boxler here. How y'all doing? I've been working with Curry Glassell on a couple of her classes and so forth, and something came up yesterday that I wanted to talk about on today's Facebook Live, and that is attraction and receiving. It's an interesting kind of dynamic. The energy of it is, you may know a lot of people who are actually interested in, is this actually broadcasting? There we go. Okay, it is broadcasting. Awesome. The energy of it is this energy of attraction. It's like if you've decided that you need to attract something, do you have to actually do you have to actually eradicate that energy that you want to attract from you? Boy, did I say that straightforward or what? And it goes along with this whole idea of lies. How many times during the day are we thinking about something and thinking, this is the right way to do something, and we haven't actually stepped out of our comfort zone to say, what if this is something I learned from somebody else that's not actually true for me? What if it's a lie that I'm buying so I can fit into the rightness of this reality, or something like that, And these are kind of deep, probing questions that we all can ask for ourselves, but we can't really ask them for anyone else. And often we're always trying to do what? We're trying to actually find out other people's lies so that we can flip and polarize the other end of them or use them to create from. And you just got to ask, is that working for you or not? Perhaps it is. Maybe it's enough for you. It's possible. I know a lot of people who work from the attraction, repulsion energy. You either pull it to you or you push it away, which is really what this call's about. I almost forgot. And it's about this energetic possibility where instead of trying to attract or repulse, we just receive, just like Joemma. Did I say that right? How are you, dear? And everybody else. We got Monica. I haven't heard from you in a long time either. How are you? And Barbara and all the rest of you lovelies. Pablo, Micah, hey guys. Lovely to hear from you too. This energy of we're trying to retract or repulse something, pull or push, if we were in that energy of newness where it's like, oh, why don't I just lower all my defenses and just receive everything that's going on? Does that kind of like step up the whole attraction theory, right? Because if you're attracting, how much work and effort and mentalization are you putting into it to create that attraction, if you would? Right? Yeah. Yeah. So basically, our original title for the call was attraction or receiving. In receiving, do you have to have a point of view about anything? You really don't. You can be this total kindness and caring and allowance of all things and not have a point of view about it, so that you are in choice, so that you're in total choice. Total choice. Do you guys get total choice? Oh my God, doesn't that make you just want to go, I'm having that, whatever that total choice thing is. Yeah, wouldn't you like to be able to be at the banquet of possibilities of your future and be able to choose anything from the banquet? Not just the right things or the things that you're attracted to, but choose anything because it worked for you in those few moments. It's a big question coming from, a world where often you're only given the, 2 or 3 possibilities. So do you live in the A or B possibility world where it's like you choose A, you choose B, and that's all that's possible? This is like an honesty check for yourself. So do you live in the A or B possibility world? And if you do and you acknowledge it, there's a whole different possibility available, because the attraction-repulsion, or detraction, or attraction-contraction, that's a whole nother class, that actually is an A or B universe. So would you like to have an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all the rest of the letters easily universe, where you could just like look at the rainbow, the breadth of different possibilities that you could choose at any given time? These are where the tools of Access Consciousness in my 10 years with them have totally changed something for me. I came from the A and B world, and that was short and sweet. The right way to do things, in my case it was religion, and a proper family, and being a role, and being in integrity, and all that stuff. But it never really worked for me. And so once I got these tools and got rid of all these points of view about the right way to do things, my life started to expand. And it's been expanding, for 10 years since then. Huge thanks to Gary Douglas, Dane here, Curry Glassell, all you people out there who are willing to be in this space to help us all have a different possibility where we can have 10-second choices, where we can continually choose what works for us, because hi Letty, how are you? And Sheena, hey, how is everyone? There's a Spanish wave, I like that. If you're in that space where you can always choose something else, how much ease does that create for you and your body? Does it create more ease or less to know that you don't have to choose for or against whatever thing is going on in front of you? Yeah, it creates a whole lot more ease for me too. And if you're willing to have that with these tools, there's different possibilities available. So some of these tools that are like, I'll call them fundamental for me, is always being in this space of question. If you're willing to question anything and also be questionable, that's where people are throwing all their judgments and points of view at you, and you just kind of let them be. They're just energy that's moving past you. There's a different possibility for your forward motion and what you want to create. Because if you're not fighting this world, what instantly arises in your world? You can start walking around things and weaving through things and not having to get a nose itch right in the middle of your Facebook Live. And if you're not fighting and trying to circumnavigate everything, how much more energy do you have to put in to the things that make you happy, the things you desire more of? Do you have a lot more energy, or is it just a small amount? So if you're willing to ask questions and use that tool for starters, does this work for me? Am I fighting this, or am I creating something new? Really simple questions that will open up your world. If you're willing to use those, it's the beginning of a completely different reality for you. Beza, how are you, my dear? And if you guys have any questions about this, I love to have your questions and see what's going on, because those questions actually amplify the possibilities of things that can change for everybody on this call. I think Barbara Schubert was reading my mind before my mouth opened. She says, every time I do this A-B thing, I get stuck. And what ease opens up when I ask a question, then instead of trying to fix it and make it work for me. So are you saying there's more ease for you if you don't fix or make something work for you? Yeah, make something work for you is interesting, because that means you like slaves. Isn't that weird when you look at the core essence of our language? I'm going to make something work for me. I'm going to force it to work for me. I'm going to take its choice away, and I'm going to turn it into a slave, or the energy of master slave. It's weird how our languaging works. So thanks for that, Barbara. Great. Charlene says, not fighting and not fearing. Yeah. Well, that's a great question embedded in a not question, basically. So if you're a fighter, let's say you're a fighter. Who's a fighter out there? Who will do anything and get their dukes up and push and fight their way through their life? And and I ask from, interesting point of view. I have no point of view about it. It's more to open up the doors to what you know. So if you're a fighter and you're fight, what would be possible if you lowered your defenses, lowered your dukes, and you just started receiving everything for 10 seconds? So can everybody just acknowledge, actually, let's do a little energy pull here while we're at it. I've got a lot of these going on in my life, and they always create more space. There's 3 things to an energy pull that are really key. Expand out. So can you all expand out 100 miles or kilometers from your body in all directions? And can you acknowledge if there's any sensory changes as you do that? Is there a greater sense of space or calmness? I know my body's like, happier, wow. The next piece is to ask a question. Are you using some barriers to keep the fight in check? To keep the fight, are you using barriers to make sure you can keep yourself safe? That's what I meant to say. And any of those barriers that you're aware of, could you just ask them to dissolve? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da, it's that easy, believe me. Get on one of our energy pull classes here and you'll know more if anything in that actually created some ease for you, that's an energy pull. And those come out of the foundation and the choice of possibilities. And then the third piece that's really key is relax. Can you relax? If you were a fighter, how much could you relax when you're in the ring? And if you're totally relaxed, would you just fall out of the way of all the punches with no effort? I'll give you an answer here, and that's going to be, you can't do it. And I know how many people out there might just go ahead and do it if I tell you not to. So there you go. I would like to see you guys have as much change as I've been receiving. So there. Cool. Who else? Anybody else got questions or comments about attraction and receiving? So in receiving, you relax. You know you're not going to die. Do you guys know you're not going to die in the next 5 seconds? Yeah, you're not going to die. You're not going to die. Right. Now, that's the key piece. Now, when you're a fighter, you've got to fight for the right. You've got to fight for the correct. You've got to fight for all these things. But when you're receiving, you can just, everything's easy. How much would you like to have a little bit more ease? Sheena says, I used to be a fighter. I've relaxed thankfully since finding accesses. Yeah. Sally, thank you. Makes so much sense. Thank you. Bless you. I was fighting. Yeah. It's like the fighting, how much pain and misery does that create in your body and your being to fight everything? A lot or a little? And this is that energy of question. Because when I ask these questions, do you know more about how you're operating? And does that give you a different possibility to operate differently in the future? Something that perhaps is more generous and kind for you? Yeah. Ooh, bodies are very talkative today. Cool. So on that note, just to like wrap up the attraction receiving thing, is in order to attract something, you have to contract. And you just have to ask if that works for you. You have to pull all of your energy into a small space and pretend you don't have what you're trying to attract to you. And it very well works for a lot of people. My question for you guys is do you want more than that? Nellie Moser says, I tend to feel guilty when I receive more than expected, like having to pay it back. Okay, great. Yeah. Well, if there's a question in there, is there a question that comes up for you around that could create a different possibility for you? Yeah. Barbara says, what's the difference between attracting and pulling in? That's a great question. So when you're pulling in your life, you have no preference. You allow yourself to receive everything. When you're attracting, you've already decided, concluded, and expected something is going to show up in a particular way. It works, but how many times does it show up? And as soon as it gets there and you've spent your 5 minutes with it, you're like, I'm bored. Because why is that the case? Because the universe is about a godzillion times more capable than all of our itsy bitsy imaginations. And we're all hoping our imaginations are the biggest thing in the universe. But when you're doing the attraction thing, you're only operating from your imagination of what could be from what you already know. And if you're doing receiving, you get to know everything that's possible beyond your imagination. How much fun would that be for you? A fuckload of fun or just a little? Whatever your answers are, they're just information that comes to you. So, great. I hope that there's something in this video that you can take home, use right away, apply to your life. Maybe it's, am I doing attraction repulsion with this? What could I do differently here? And that would create more for me. Maybe it creates more ease in your body and your being. Okay, folks, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have some more Facebook Lives this week as we get closer to the next energy pole class at the beginning of the month. And how does it get any better than that? Another bank statement. Talk to you guys later. Bye.